Get ready to embark on a journey through numbers and cosmic energies, where the vibrations of the universe reveal profound insights. This is Carolyn Grey's numerology reading, exclusively on Strange Darkness Radio.
Let's start out with Miss Carolyn. I have her page 1. So I know that we talked a little bit about certain numbers in episode 1. We talked about the basis of how everybody has 5 placements in their chart, in their numerology chart, and that's no matter what. You have your life path and your birth date, which are derived from the actual date of your birth, and then your expression, personality, and heart's desire are derived from the spelling of your full name, right? So if somebody has like a married name, with Amy, we have like a chart and a half, or almost 2 charts, because we did her maiden and we did her married. So there's going to be 2 different energies that are showing, right? So if somebody has, like, I could literally do a strange darkness decode and find out what the frequency and the vibration of that is to some degree.
Oh, you should do
Interesting.
that.
Yeah, I think we should do that for sure.
For sure,
Add
yeah.
it to the list.
Yeah. It's pretty cool because you'll see it out there. We had talked about elites using numerology before in episode 1, and one of there's a couple of people that I wanted to mention that I forgot to. I know we recently, I don't know if you all saw, Jelly Roll and Bunny XO went to Congress.
No, for what?
So on January 11th, because Bunny XO is just brilliant and she knows what's up with the numbers, she brought her man into Congress. Jelly Roll, like the biggest star on the planet right now, like she took him into Congress so that they could introduce legislation with regards to fentanyl deaths and stuff like that, because he's got so many of his followers and fans that come up to him in his shows and are like, this happened to my child and they were a fan of yours. And it's become something that's like really, really huge in their hearts and in their lives to do this. I had done, just on my TikTok, my social media, I did 3 quick 10-minute compatibility readings for Jelly Roll and Bunny XO. And I was not a fan of theirs at the time. It's a long story how it came to be, but I learned in that reading that literally their whole, that Save Me, Jelly Roll Save Me, that song Save Me, and that whole vibration essence, that is their love story. And I came to learn through those readings, which Bunny XO liked all 3 and commented on all 3, amazingly enough.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she told me
That's
spot
awesome.
on. So that was amazing. And I know she knows, I can just tell by the way, how she gets the numbers, she gets energy.
Yeah.
And she's a good one. She's a good one. Because we see that now. She went on 111 on January 11th, which is an 1111 in numerology. She went to Congress. She could have picked any other day, I'm sure. They went on the 11th, which was an amplified master, as we talked a little bit about yesterday. That means that they went in there with quadruple the impact of that leadership number 1. And then they amplified it twice with that 11, which was brilliant.
Why is January 11th and 11/11? Isn't that 111?
It's 111 date, yes. But remember, we talked about the overall energy.
Oh,
of
like when
the
you
day.
add up everything. Oh, okay. Oh, interesting.
Yes. So it's actually 111 on 111. If I think, we got the 8s. No, it's okay. So 2024 is 8. That's an 8. Then you have 11, so 9, 10, and then you have January, so that's 11. It's an overall 11.
Got you. Okay.
And the daily 11, so it was an 11/11.
So is that a good day for anybody to go accomplish something, or was that specific to what they were trying to do? Oh,
No.
so 111 or 11/11 is a good day for anybody.
Yes.
Okay, so keep that in mind, people.
And what's really cool about this, because it actually includes both of them. It includes the 11/11 and the 111, because it was 111. So it was Jelly Roll and Bunny coming out and with with that whole amplified stance on that. They're coming with that energy, the amplified energy, that hard-hitting energy, and although it's for good, they're coming in on the 111, which means be warned, we are coming. Like that's
Yeah.
what that 111 is, right? It's that warning, it's that threat, but it's a threat for good. Watch out, fentanyl, watch out, drug dealers, watch out, criminals who are killing our people with this drug.
Right.
Like
Watch
we are
out, big
coming.
pharma.
So
Exactly.
was it that they are into numerology and they knew to go on this date, or it just happened to be that way? And
So my personal thing is that I don't believe for 1 second that I believe that Bunny knows about numerology. I don't know if Jelly Roll does, but I believe that Bunny works with energy.
Especially because she liked your posts, right? And she obviously follows your numerology channel.
Well,
she
I don't even
probably
think she
knows.
follows me, but she did like it. And
Oh, okay.
she was sent the video by a friend of mine who had sang for Jelly Roll. And I did their
Oh.
compatibility chart afterwards as my first episode of the whole podcast. So it was, and that was almost like a repeat of the Jelly Roll and Bunny XO. Incredible compatibility numerology readings. And I would encourage everybody to go watch them. They're
I just want to say Jelly Roll got really lucky. So I don't know whatever numbers he's mixing up there. He got really lucky.
Why? What do you mean?
Have you seen Bunny XO?
with her?
Oh, no, I don't know what she looks like.
Is it crazy that I don't know who these people are?
No, okay. I didn't either.
He's like a country rap pop singer.
He's one of the biggest artists on the planet right now.
Yeah.
Oh my! Oh, he is. Okay, I'm embarrassed now.
No, it's okay. I didn't know who he was either. The only reason I knew about him was because my friend had just been to a concert here in Dallas for him, and then my other friend sang at his after party when he won the CMA award back in November, I believe. So she actually sang for him. And so that's the only reason I knew about that. And I started watching podcasts on YouTube, different types of podcasts, and thinking about starting mine and getting the confirmations of that I need to start doing this. So I started watching podcasts, and they are all over. They've got the Dumb Blonde podcast, which is Bunny's podcast, and then they're all over other people's podcasts too.
So Bunny XO, she's a podcaster, or who is she?
Bunny XO is a former high class escort.
Doom, doom, doom.
And they are open about it. They don't care.
And Jelly Roll and her are married, right? Or they're together.
They're married, full married.
Wow.
She's gorgeous. She looks like just like the pinup Barbie. Like she's insanely beautiful. And she has been super successful in her business life. And it's because she's just got a great head on her shoulders, and she's tapped into energy very, very well. And her thing is she wants to save the world. She's a high 9. And so she's using her 922, which is the frequency of epic love, and that I learned through doing their charts. And then she's also using the building of her family to help save people, which is just, it's beautiful.
That's pretty amazing how you're able to take those numbers and actually know about the person without knowing the person. And then you see it in their actual acts that, I'm spot on. So that's just incredible.
Yeah. Confirmations are amazing. But yeah, so anyways, just a few of those questions or notes that I wanted to make.
That was you guys' education on Jelly Roll and Bunny.
Well, thank you for enlightening me. Yeah, no. Sorry, I'm not that cool, so I'm not up on like who's
pop
in
culture.
Yeah, I'm a little
Me neither.
Me neither, honey. It is okay. All right, so we talked a little bit about the 5 placements. We talked about any of your placements can be one of 12 digits, either the cardinals 1 through 9, or one of the masters 11, 22, and 33, right? And so I know we talked a little bit about certain numbers, but we're going to go into depth into them. So our life path for Miss Carolyn is our amazing 8. And I know this was one of the one of the big numbers we talked about before, in any of my social media, even if it doesn't have an 8 in it, I'm usually talking about the 8. The reason being is because the 8 is the most powerful number of the cardinals. I liken it to a master as far as its ability. It is power, money, karma, risk, resilience. It is alchemy, manifestation, magic. It is. It's risk and reward, it's beauty, and influence, but it's also ego and it's trauma.
Yeah.
So eights are kind of like the bumpers of the world for trauma. Eights are also like the Dawn soap of the world for oil spills. We absorb the trauma, right?
Mm-hmm.
And eights have, depending on their charts, they have certain choices as to what they can do with those traumas. They can become bitter or they can become better. We're going through them. I have an 8 in my chart, so I trust me, I know all about it. We're gonna go through it. There is no getting out of it. You know what I mean? We got to go through it. But if we choose the right thing with our numbers, and this is why I feel like everybody should know about their numbers, because you do have free will. You do have choice in how to make that trauma work for you and not destroy you, right? And I love your chart, Carolyn, because the 8 can be, every number has shadow and light to it, right? It has good and it has not so good. And the 8, I'm not gonna lie, it's one of those that has a lot of shadow to it. And the reason being is because it is so powerful. When you have the most powerful number, there's gonna be a lot of negative energy that wants to attach to that for the purpose of control, and domination and money and all of that, right? So you're gonna generally find that with that, that's why the 8 has a lot of those powerful attributes, right? And why it can get in so much trouble. If you look at the shape of the 8, it's like an infinity symbol. Power, money, karma. What you put in, you get out, right? Or two balls right on top of each other. And as we said before, if you look at the physical like makeup of a number, it will tell you so much about the attributes of the number. So the 8 is nothing but whimsical round, right? If you were to knock it against the wall, it's going to bounce back off. If you were to drop the 8 physically, it's going to bounce back quicker and higher than anybody else because it is the most resilient number. And it has to be because the 8 was made for trauma, right? So the good thing is with an 8, and I always tell 8s, you, with an unwise decision, can crash and burn headfirst into the ground. However, even if you do that, if you mess up and do that, you're the most resilient number that there is. So you're going to bounce back quicker and higher and faster than anybody else. And it's just the bounce back game is ridiculous for the 8. It's almost like they're the people that, okay, so remember, I talked to you before about how I call the 8 Kanye Omari West. And that is because Kanye is a high 8. He's an amplified 8. He's an 11-8. So he's, yeah, 88. Des Bryant 8. You know what I mean? Like that sort of super dynamic, super in your face, just doesn't care, is gonna be bold and brash and beautiful and walling out all sides, right? So even with that Kanye energy, even with that, the 8 is, look at what he went through a few years ago. He was like, he was telling people, "Oh, I'm broke, and will you donate or whatever?" And then just a couple years afterwards, he's a billionaire again, right?
Yeah.
Like
he bounced back.
exactly, that bounce back is like retarded. Like you just can't even like you don't see people do things like that, and it's because of the fact that 8s are that. And then he's an amplified 8. Oh, he's bouncing back just stupid. Nobody's gonna catch him.
Yeah, he has every time. So it's interesting.
Right. And this is another reason when I told you guys before, like, I'm surprised I don't see that in Trump's. I'm surprised I don't see it. And I don't even think it was in Biden's or or any of the Clintons ones either. And that 8 should be there. I feel like that 8 should be there with theirs. But
Yeah.
it's not. So, but like I said, I learned through each of the readings. They tell me a little bit more, and what certain combinations. Like I said, that 5 and the 7 together is almost comparable to that regular 8 without the trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be beautiful like that. But continuing on with your birthday number, we talked a little bit about how the birthday number is your everyday energy, right? So your life path number is the destination energy, okay, your purpose, why you're here. And a lot of times, most of us won't exhibit those attributes until maybe the latter half of our lives, right? Whereas our birthday number, our birthday energy, that's the parts of us that stay the same from birth until death. They never change, and they go in to support that overall destination life path energy. So you have the perfect birthday number for your life path, which is the number 3. The 3 is the creative child. And so if you have ever met a little baby and you're like, yeah, you've been here before, little one, in somebody else's body, and it's just an old soul that you see in that baby, like that is the energy of the 3, just an old soul that's been reincarnated, that's back to bring wisdom and calmness and peace and fun and youth and creativity. Bigger than anything is the creativity, because the 3 is the creative child. So divine gifting, and 3s are a lot of times musically inclined. 3s and 33s are a lot of times musically inclined, but creative one way or another. And so if you look at the shape of the 3 once again, that 3 is going to completely cuff the 8. And it's going to keep it from wilding out all sides. You know what I mean? Because that 8 is trying to wild out, throw bows in the club, and that 3 is like, no, hey, you are going home tonight. We're not going to jail, right? So, so that 3 is a perfect pairing for the 8, very much the best protection number that you can have for that 8, which means that the lighter attributes of the 8, the power, the money, the resilience, the alchemy, the manifestation and influence are going to be more prominent. They can be more prominent because we've got the trauma and the toxicity at bay or held off from even manifesting at all because of that protective 3, so really,
That makes sense.
good pairing with that.
Good.
So then we move on to your expression number. Now, your expression number is how and why you do things, right? Based upon your numbers, experiences, environmental factors, so on and so forth. And yours is the 1. That's the male dominant 1. So that is the father in the cardinals, the male dominant 1. So very, very it's a leader. It's one of the leadership numbers. The 1, the 4, and the 7 are leadership numbers. And again, if you look at the shapes of them, very hard lines, very stiff, rigid. So these are more intolerant type attributes, but that's what leaders need. They need to be able to put their foot down and be a stick in the mud sometimes, because you got to lead the people and people will try to push you around. So there's a side to you, Carolyn, in the way that you do things, the way that you operate as yourself. Like, you're not afraid to put your foot down with something. You're not afraid to take a stand. You're not afraid to blaze your own path. The 1 is the one and only, the 1 in a million, once in a lifetime. So the way that you do things is very unique. I know you guys already know one of my favorite words is weirdo. Like, I love weird people. It's not the same that what most people mean by weird. No, it's like, it's a beautiful thing. It's uniqueness. It's authentic.
Yeah, I'm laughing at Carolyn just.
Yeah, why are you laughing?
Hey, you want to be on the podcast? Okay. And then a week later, I'm leaving Sacramento though. Leaving. Yeah, just gonna go with my friend and find a job and figure it out.
But it still
Anyway,
worked out.
yeah, it always
I'm still here.
It worked out for you, exactly.
Yeah.
But no, that definitely doing my own thing. Yeah, that definitely, it's definitely true.
Yeah, and just
Or doing things my own way.
exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. One of the things I like to say about the one is that it's very much a my way or the highway type attitude, with a lot of things. This is
Hmm.
my life. You don't pay my bills. You know what I mean? Like, I love you, but I'm gonna do me. Like I'm gonna blaze a
Yeah.
path, and just being that way. That's automatically. It's like I always think of like Jerry Maguire. I'm not gonna freak out, do what everybody thinks I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? Like that sort of thing. And then he takes off, and then people, Renee Zellweger, I think, goes with
Mhm.
him. Um, yeah, like that sort of a yeah, okay. I'm with the shits, and I'm gonna go with Jerry Maguire. So that's kind of like a one. Like they don't care what anybody thinks about them. They're gonna be themselves and embrace their weirdo and rock with it like nobody else.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
all right. So then moving on to your personality number. So I don't like the name personality number in this placement. Um, However, that's what it's called. I like to call it the perception number because it's how we're perceived by the world, by others. May not necessarily be what we are, but it's how we're seen. Okay.
Mhm.
So yours is the two. So what is the two? The two is the Venus. If one is the father, the male dominant, the two is the loving, nurturing, mother, lover, Venus energy, right?
Hmm.
So food may be a love language for you. Either you like to cook or you may interpret love through
I like to
food.
eat.
Right, right. So it's like we interpret love through food, like a home cooked meal is like, oh, you do love me. Okay. Like almost like
Hmm.
and then if somebody buys you or if somebody makes, a ribeye steak or shrimp or something that you really like that's like good, like that's a love language too. You're like, you actually care about me because you got me cocktail shrimp. It's a weird
Oh.
how you interpret twos are like that. They interpret love through food.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like food in and of itself should be a love language, honestly.
Mhm. I
No,
agree
it
with that
should. That
one.
would be a
Yeah.
good one.
Mhm.
Feel like that's a lot of people's hidden love language.
Oh, top of my list. Yeah.
For sure. So yeah, but it's overall your friends, your people see you as like the mother hen in a way. Um, I don't know if like everybody's always over at your house or everybody knows that Carolyn has she's got an extra bedroom or a couch to crash on. Like you're never going to throw anybody out. If somebody needs to sleep over or crash for a few days, like, or if they need to be nourished in a way, if they just need to be hugged because they're going through a breakup. You're like, come over, bitch. I got some wine. Like, and I'm not saying it like that, but like, you know what I mean? Like, you're like,
Yeah.
bring it on, come over. I'm going to take care of you? And so that's very much that two energy of like, I got you and I'm going to take you under my wing and mother you and nurture you and feed you and nourish you. That's why food
Mhm.
is so big with twos. Make sense?
Yeah, and that's actually another big thing for me. Like, I like to make sure everyone's fed. Like, even if someone comes to my house and I've never even met them before, like someone brings them over, I'm gonna make sure they're okay. Like, they've been
Oh,
fed and they're not hungry. And yeah,
I
that's a big
love
thing for me.
people like that.
That's how I was raised. My mom
Yeah.
was always like, everyone should have a full stomach. And, it's really important just to make
Oh,
sure everyone's fed and taken care of. So,
Mhm.
yeah,
it
that's a
is
big
true.
one.
It is true. And like my some of my best friends and favorite people in life are 22s. Like I just naturally gravitate to 22s and they gravitate to me. And there so even though I have no two in my chart, I so resonate with them. I think it's my life path 4, which is good with the two,
Mm.
but it's really like they're just another level of loving.
Mhm.
And every 22 that I've known is like they've got yummy food in their house and they've got like the kids friends are over doing their homework or playing soccer. Like that's the 2 and the 22's home is where the kids are, on the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And
Super welcoming.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So that sort of energy, and then like a lot of times too, will because they're that support. They're made to be that support. Look at the shape of the 2 once again, right? You got the 1, you got the 2. If the 1 falls over, what's the 2 do? It's already built to push it back up. Do you see that?
Huh. Yeah. It's
Like almost
interesting.
like on a spring like ledge or something.
Mm.
So the 2 is super, super supportive. And if somebody comes to the 2 and they're just like, oh my God, he broke up with me or what have you, and it's like, you'll clear your schedule to be there
Mhm.
to just nurture somebody because you kind of know that they need to be under your wing for a minute, So, so yeah, the twos are just their love. That's a lot of love. Now, if we want to talk a little bit about, because every number has, like we said, shadow and light. The 2 is mostly light. The one area where I came into issue with 2, and I'm gonna go there.
Dun,
Um,
dun.
when I did uh, JRBs several years ago, when I did Trump's, he's an 11 too. So he was born on November 20th. And so that too, and that reading was,
A bad 2.
I like to sniff. Yeah, that sort of I'm just very lovey touchy on people that I should not be.
Oh.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
Like a hair sniffing kind of thing.
Yes, that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So even though we have that love number, do you see what I'm saying? How
It can be like too far,
yes,
like where you're too touching people when they don't want you to and stuff like that. Mm.
exactly. So that's the only time that the 2 kind of stood out to me as like, back up, hold on, like
Yeah.
give me some space here. Um, but other than that, the 2 is just it's a beautiful, wonderful number, and it's truly love. So you are seen as love. Your friends see you, your people see you as love, and they come to you for love, and they know that you're gonna give them that nurturing. So now
Aw.
my favorite part of your chart is this, and what I love is that it's applicable in not only just Carolyn's chart, but it's also applicable in Amy's chart too, um, which is just huge for me because she has the 2 ones and it worked out both ways. So I love it, love it. And that is the fact that your heart's desire number is also the 8, right?
Uh-huh.
So you have the same number as your life path for your heart's desire. Your heart's desire is literally what it sounds like. It's what you want out of life. It's your soul urge. So you're literally, it's 1101, you're literally living and loving your purpose, right?
Hmm.
And even if you're not like completely accomplished with it or even halfway accomplished with it, you're still a young person. You still got a lot to go with your purpose. However, there is a part of this that allows you to feel like you were right on time and there's no rush with it, and you are content in where you are on your journey, and it's like everything is it's supposed to be happening right now as it's happening. There's no rush in this, and there is no regardless of what societal norms are and what they say about what age you should get married and have kids and go to college and this and that, like screw society. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it's not as far as like people, but as far as like societal norms and those kind of weird expectations, like
Rules and stuff. Yeah.
exactly. It's like
These rules.
I have
That's what
my
I
own,
say.
rules are made to be broken.
Exactly.
I want to live my life the way I want to live it. And so there's something about your chart that says that you are very much on your way and you're exactly where you need to be and there's no like rush in it. You know what I mean?
Does a heart's desire 8 tell you what my heart's desire is, or does it just tell you kind of where
So
I'm at.
it's a great question. In this placement, first of all, the 8 in a life path is going to be different from the 8 in your heart's desire, right?
Hmm.
The 8 in the life path is it's a big thing of yeah, I'm going to take a lot of trauma. It's part of my purpose to take that trauma, but it also may be part of my purpose to be super resilient and super wealthy, and have a ton of influence. The 8 heart's desire, in this regard, because you have a life path 8, it connects back to that 8 and just it solidifies that. And what I sense with this is you do want to have money and power, um, but it's more so for influence, right? You want to have influence. Um, it's not a money hungry 8 like it would be if it had no 8 as the life path. The
Hmm.
heart's desire 8, uh, in this specific chart is, and there's nothing wrong with wanting money, by the way. I'm just letting everybody know. It just can't be the love of money. You know what I mean?
Like a
It's just like,
greedy
yeah,
gluttony. Yeah.
exactly. Um, so in this placement, to me, it feels like uh, it, it feels like there's the influence mainly with success. Yeah, with success. But the big thing with this that I get overwhelming is the fact that you are on your way. Now, um, sometimes I doodle and sometimes things come up.
Hmm.
Um, and so I'm not sure. I feel like, is that a peacock feather? Do you like peacocks?
Interesting.
Do I?
Yeah. Is there something?
I like them as much as anybody likes them.
Right, right, but it's not
Yeah.
a specific thing with peacocks. Or does somebody have peacock feathers somewhere that you know about, like at your mom's house, or do you have it at, like? It looks like a peacock feather to me. That's what came to me.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, my mom has a big painting of a peacock in her living room.
Okay.
That's
Are you
interesting.
just saying?
Yeah. No, she does. I could take a picture of it next time I see her.
A special painting for
That's
her?
funny.
So like,
Yeah, maybe. She's had it forever.
let's
Oh,
just wanna-
I was gonna say
it's-
you watched NBC, but
Hell
NBC.
no.
so it's just that's the first thing that I thought of was a peacock feather.
I don't see a peacock feather. Wait.
So right here. It's just my
Oh,
little
that.
symbol. Like
Okay,
it
kinda,
may
yeah.
not be a peacock feather, but that's what the word that
That's
came
what
from
you
is
see.
peacock. Yeah.
Okay.
that's
Huh.
interesting.
So in that sort of case where that happens,
You should ask your mom about that painting, the background of that painting.
Yeah, maybe it's really
Yeah,
special
see.
and has significance to her.
Yeah,
what
that's true. Maybe she likes peacocks.
what's her birthday? Do you want to say? Do you want to see?
Yeah, that's it's January. Actually, it just happened. It's January 19th, 1968. And she loves this kind of stuff. So if you ever have time and you want to do a reading for her, I mean,
Well, I'm about to
she
do
would
a
love that.
little mini right now.
Oh, that'd be a great birthday gift.
Okay, let me do this. Let's see here. Let's see here.
Yeah, I have to give her a special birthday shout out because she always loves everything we put out.
Oh yeah, I never even
Aww.
did that.
Are you
Mom, this
serious?
one's for you. Happy birthday. Well, not on the show.
Aw.
What does that mean? 35.
What's 3 plus 5?
8.
She's a life path 8.
She's an
So
8 too. Oh,
yeah.
that's so
So
weird.
she's a life path 8 and she's a 35 8. So what this tells me is with regards to your heart's desire, that she is living vicariously through you in a good way, like pride wise.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and like
Hmm.
she can feel the energy of your happiness um and she's also she's more powerful in her energy of support for you than you realize.
No, that makes everything you just said makes perfect sense. She's always told me because she moved here from a different country when I was born and she didn't know anybody and she was, a first-time mom, stay-at-home mom with me as a baby and I was a really, really happy child. I've just always been like that. And so she's always telling me that like, "Oh, I'm so glad that, you were my first kid because you brought so much light and happiness and blah blah blah." Um and also the support thing. She's my biggest supporter. She's always just been nothing but supportive. So,
Mm,
yeah, everything you just that I'm almost gonna cry. Like seriously, that makes
I feel it.
perfect sense.
I
Aw.
love it. I love it. Well, tell
Yeah.
her God bless and like send lots of love to her and
Yeah, she's gonna love this. Thank you.
she's welcome
Happy
to.
So
birthday,
sweet.
Mom.
Yeah,
Happy
happy
birthday,
birthday.
Carolyn's mom.
She's definitely gonna listen to this too, so
Oh.
You have to come on
Yeah.
the show.
yeah,
I know she's nervous
we're
about
still
it.
waiting for you, Mom. I know. I don't know why I'll get her on the show. She'll come on the show.
We'll do her whole chart. I'll do her whole chart.
Oh, she would love that. So my mom is Brazilian and she actually they're into I don't want to compare cultures, but in Brazil they're very Catholic, but at the same time they're into different things like astrology and magic and stuff like that. And so she knows a guy in Brazil who's actually like kind of a famous astrologer and he did this massive chart for her and told her things about me and her. And he was very accurate. I mean, and he told her things. It's just crazy. So she would love this. She loves this kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome. It's 11:10 right here, right now. So, Daddy,
Hi,
give
Big
you.
Daddy.
Yeah, exactly. All
He's with
right,
us.
for sure, for sure. Okay, so any questions with regards to your charts at all? Like, anything you want me to
um,
clarify?
Not specifically about my chart. I'm probably gonna do a little more research, later about these numbers, for myself. But I did want to mention, I think I already told you about this in part one, but I just can't believe that you've never looked into Enneagram. I think that you should definitely look into it because a lot of what you're saying with the numbers you're giving me, um, is it's almost like Enneagram. Um, I think I told you about it last time, but it's like a personality typing system and it goes 1 through 9 and you have like your base personality is like either 1 through 9.
Yeah,
And it's interesting because in the Enneagram system, like number 1 is the reformer and then number 2 is the helper. And then also like how you were saying each number has light and dark aspects. Um, you could be a personality type 4, but depending on like your mental health and where you are in life and all these different things, it can it's like two people can both be a type 4 personality, but depending on circumstances and what's
yeah,
going on with them, they can it can come out in a completely different way. So
yeah.
it's really interesting. I think you could even use it in your readings, if you
Yeah, I mean,
I
I'm
think you'd
happy to
like
look
it.
into it. Yeah, I'm gonna look into it. It sounds very much along the lines. I learned about it a couple of years ago from one of my training managers.
Yeah, I'm
That
sure you've
hospital
heard
I
of
was
it.
at, and she was gonna do it, and she just never got around to coming back down to do it for me. Um, but yeah, I'll look into it for sure. I'm sure I'll probably be able to pick it up fairly quickly.
You
So.
would. Yeah, I think it would just click for you. When we get off, I have like actually this really incredible book about it, so I'll send you a picture of
Okay.
it so maybe you could look into it. But anyways,
Yeah, thank you.
thanks. Yeah.